We are going to hire people who want to do research.
Okay.
You see, there are two types of people in the world. Those who want to do research and those who don't want to do research but want to do other things, work, etc., etc., etc. If you meet with people who are research oriented, who are real academics, you will know immediately. You can ask them, okay, I'll give you, ₹1 million a month, provided you teach, 300 hours a year. Or I'll give you ₹2 million a month if you stop this research and do something else. I am fine with research the way it is. What they want is not so much the money, what they want is the time. And in order to make sure that we are research oriented, we just have to make sure that we hire the right people, we recruit the right faculty. And that's what Cambridge has been helping us with, identifying globally, who is the right person for this, who is the right person for marketing, human resource, etc., etc. We've had a very detailed process where we first get the CV, then we have an interview, then we have the person come over and actually make a presentation on what their research areas are right now, what they have done to date, what they are doing right now, or what they plan to do in the next 2-3 years. And the arrangement that we have with them is, okay, we will give you very few teaching hours and we will give you a lot of money so that you don't have any problem with, your children's schooling, your car, this, that, etc. So you don't have any worry about that. And the rest of the time we want you to spend on research, and we want to make sure that you are producing research. So research papers, etc. are what are then used as an evaluator. So your evaluation is based on how much research you've done. Basic gaps that I see, and I've taught in another institution before this, one of the premier institutions in Pakistan, the MBA school, and the main gap that I see is that we don't have enough material on issues and concerns of the Pakistani economy and Pakistani businesses. And wherever we go, we end up importing, quote unquote, second-hand knowledge and using that second-hand knowledge to produce MBAs. And I'm sure you also understand this because you've gone through the MBA program also. And if you go abroad for an MBA, you still have the same issue because the MBA that you get from outside Pakistan, from the US or wherever, Europe, etc., will also be biased towards the issues that they have. They are very smart people. They will not look at issues that concern us. They will look at issues that concern them. You know that a very large amount of money in the US is put by the government and by the private sector and by pharmaceutical companies is put into, for example, AIDS research. Nobody puts a lot of money into malaria research or dengue research or TB research. We have to do it. They're not going to be worried about whether Pakistanis are dying of dengue or not. We have to be worried about that. Now, juxtaposing that or transposing that from medical research to management research, as I said, we have load shedding issues. The Americans don't. Why on earth would they do any research on load shedding? We have to do that. Not load shedding as in, what do? You have to build more dams, etc. But load shedding as in, I'm running a cotton manufacturing, yarn manufacturing unit, and I don't have energy. So what do I do? How do I manage it? Those are the things that we need. And that is the gap. Relevant information or relevant knowledge creation does not exist in Pakistan. And we want to do that. It's the main gap. Training procedures basically would, first of all, the criteria that we have is your GPA, your results, your scores in the GMAT or GRE or GAT test. We have 3 tests. And the reason for having the local as well as the international tests is because we want to make sure that people who cannot afford a GMAT can sit for the GAT and give us the test scores along with their school GPA, etc. And then we have people write essays because we want to understand the person. We don't want to just have a machine with a very high GPA or a very high GMAT score. want to get a sense of who that person is. Now, the essays that are written, again, these are standard application form or application criteria, but we actually use the essays. We read them, and 3 or 4 people involved read them and give their comments on what they think of this person. Is this person of this type or that type or that type? Is the person an outdoor type person or indoor person, introvert, extrovert? And also, do we sense any issues as far as ethics or energy is concerned? And then we have an interview with that person or those persons who are shortlisted. And in the interview, again, we are trying to evaluate. We're not going to give them a psychological test, but we are attempting to evaluate whether the person has or is able to understand ethical differences, nuances between doing the right thing and the wrong thing, and whether that person is really, geared up with full energy levels at the max and able to go through 2 years of this rigorous program, and whether the person is able to think quickly on their feet, innovative thinking, how to solve issues. So these are the areas that we look at when we do the evaluation of student admissions. And of course, as I said earlier, it's based on merit. So anybody who thinks that, who's not confident of getting through and tries to get through their uncle or their father or something like that, is already out. You have to have the confidence to be able to apply and get admitted on your own standing without any crutches. That's the other thing. Well, we have already admitted students from some very good institutions in Pakistan. They have completed their bachelor's programs. Some have completed bachelor's in business administration. Others have done bachelor's in finance and accounting, and others have done bachelor's in engineering. And I think a large number of people who graduate from the engineering universities will also be looking to us for the MBA program. But we have, interestingly, 90% of the people who are admitted to date are interestingly coming from the premier MBA institutions in Pakistan. So these people have completed their bachelor's programs there, but are now coming to KSBL for the MBA. My personal belief that we would eventually offer specialization, because when I was at this other institution in Pakistan, we received a lot of funding from bilateral aid agency, and one of the things that we did with that money was we carried out a detailed survey of hospitals, nursing schools, etc. around Pakistan. And one of the things that came up in that research, and this is something that I was doing to identify sort of a gap analysis, what is needed. The thing that came up was that health management is a very serious shortage, huge gap as far as health management is concerned. So the thing that I was going to develop while I was there was an MBA in health management. Since I'm now here, that's one of the things that we will be looking at very seriously, not immediately, in the future. Right now, our main focus is to get the MBA program as a solid, very high quality, global standard program up and running. And once we have made the name, we will go into specialization in health management or others. We will also want to be specializing in entrepreneurship. So MBA in entrepreneurship, MBA in health management. Eventually, we will have that come up. The program that we have been offering, there are 2 types of executive programs, as you probably know. One is what is called the open enrollment program, where whoever wishes to can enroll, provided they have the basic academic qualification, undergraduate degree at least, and some series of some years of experience, etc. We target the program to top level, medium, middle level, and young professionals or high performance individuals at the junior levels. So if you are applying for a program at middle level and you have the right number of years of experience and the right bachelor's degree qualification, etc., then you can be accepted. That's not a problem. Then we have what is called a customized program. Those customized programs are customized for a particular company. So if companies now they're talking to us, we're talking to them about developing programs, especially tuned for their needs. Those we will not have outside individuals coming in. But open enrollment programs, which is the bulk of the program that we deliver, are open for whoever wishes to enroll.